I like to stay here and now. Fame is fickle. It stirs up envy, fame, you know. Well, who is she? Who does she think she is, Marilyn Monroe? Kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
If that, and you have that in your daily life, and you run into that. I like people, but the public scares me. But I like people. I think I genuinely care for people. But the public, in quotes, they scare me. The people, the workers, the people that I don't know, that you can cheer up by just, that they see you and they say hello, and their whole expression changes, you know, and they'll nudge somebody next to them and say, look, you know, and that's the good part of it. No, money is really for what it can be used for, you know, food, clothing, traveling, a home, but I like to live simply. I would like enough to sustain myself on, and those around me who need a little help, but to be a millionaire isn't any ambition of mine. It was never one of my American dreams.
No.
I always figured if I had a lot of money, I'd give it all to orphans anyway. I'd find a bunch of deserving orphans and set them up for life. Let them become whatever they wanted to become. And then something I'd like to just spout off on, if I may. We are all born sexual creatures, thank God. It's a pity so many people despise and crush this natural gift. It's about the only thing I want to really spout off on. I mean, you know, that really... Because art comes from that real art, everything.
Let's talk about the end of her life. What was that like to find out?
It was very sad. I was in New York. July 18th, we finished working together. I went to New York. I was doing a big series with a big layout with a cover for a magazine called Cosmopolitan Magazine. Also, we had done this book together. I had put it all together. And on a Friday afternoon, I was in my office at the Sunday newspapers. I was a correspondent. And I get a phone call, and Marilyn Monroe is calling. This is Friday, August 4th, August 3rd, I guess, yeah, and 1962. And she wants to know how things are going. I said, fine, everything looks great, the book, I've got it all together. And she says, I've got to see you, it's very important. I says, I'm trying to put everything together, Marilyn. George, she said, it's very important. There are many things we have to talk about, and there's some things that are very, very shocking that you must know about. You must come out. She sounded very sad. I said, if you feel it's that urgent, then I'll come out. This is Friday. I'll try to get out there Monday. I'll fly out Monday. And so that weekend, I went to the country. And Sunday morning with my brother-in-law, we went to a little store to get some rolls and things. And I sat in the car listening to the radio music. And my brother-in-law went in to buy some things, and he comes running out, and he says, did you hear it on the radio? I said, what? I said, I didn't hear it, it was music. He says, I just heard on the radio in the shop, Marilyn Monroe is dead. And I turned white. I said, I can't believe it. I'm supposed to leave Monday to see her. I said, is this a joke? It's not nice to make jokes like that. He says, I swear it's not a joke. So I got in the car and I left. And I went back to New York City to my apartment. It was about 100 miles away. I was living on Sutton Place then, and I get there, and the doorman says to me, there's some press people been asking about you. And he said, I told him you're not here. So I said, all right, good. So I went up to my apartment, the phone's ringing and everything. I put on the TV and the radio, and everything is Marilyn Monroe is dead. And the phone rings, it's Associated Press, a big agency, wanting a statement. And I said, look, I just got here. Give me a chance to get my breath. I promise I'll talk to you, but not right now. My mind is not here, you know. So I tried to get some sleep that night. I couldn't sleep. In the morning I went to my office. And
what was the sense of shock? Describe the shock. Who?
I turned white. I couldn't believe it, that she's dead. Here, she's expecting me Monday morning. Sometime Monday. I was going to leave Monday.
Right.
And I can't, well, it can't be. I mean, how could she be dead? They didn't know. They just found her dead, that's all. Because the details didn't come out then about the housekeeper and, you know, all that.
What did you lose?
What did I lose? I lost a friend, a dear friend, when I lost her. And to this day, I still think about her. I loved her. I mean, she was a very sweet person, and she was very kind. And she said, we do this book together, and if anything should ever happen to me, I'm going to count on you, you know, to see that everything is done the way we agreed.
And what did the world lose?
The world lost a very sweet person that made them happy, that brought joy for a few hours when they went into a dark theater to watch her films. And they lost a very kind person, and a person that loved everybody and had no hatred for anyone. She didn't hate her husbands. She loved them, but the frustration was that she couldn't get them to understand her.
Once again, Marilyn seized the opportunity to find salvation in the camera. One of her good friends, photographer George Barris, had an idea for a book of intimate photographs telling her own story.
She was quite excited about us doing a book together, and she said, now I can tell everything I really want to tell about my life, and we can get rid of all these lies that the press has been saying about me.
They decided to take photographs by the ocean at Santa Monica. It was a place with special memories for Marilyn and for Norma Jean. She played there when she was a child. Barris planned to keep the shoot simple, with only Marilyn, the beach, and a towel in frame.
I said, Marilyn, let's try to use this towel as a prop. Maybe you can dance around it, hold it in front of you. It can be daring, it could be sexy, it could be fun. And we had fun doing it. The towel became a wonderful prop.
Barris prepared to shoot the last roll of what would be Marilyn Monroe's final photo session.
The sun had gone down, it was windy, it was cold, and Marilyn said, can't we stop? I'm getting cold. And I said, there's only one film left in the camera, Marilyn. And she said, but George, you're always saying that. And I said, no, honestly, it's the last picture. So we took the towel or the blanket, we put it over her legs, and she said, I'll blow a kiss to you. She puckered up her lips, and she said, George, this is just for you. And I'll never forget, that was the last picture we took. When we got up, it was rather chilly on the 13th of July, and we both walked off the beach. And that was the end of our photographic session.
All her life, Marilyn had relied on photographers to rescue her from her darkest fears. but nothing could ever rid her of the anxieties that had haunted her since childhood. On the 5th of August 1962, Marilyn was found dead by her housekeeper. The autopsy concluded that she had overdosed on barbiturates.
But had Marilyn decided to end it all? At 4 p.m. that final afternoon, she took delivery of the shrubs and trees from Frank's home nurseries that she had spent the previous afternoon selecting. She was in the process of completely refurbishing her new home, the first she'd ever owned after over 40 rented suites and apartments. For Ralph Roberts, Marilyn's longtime masseur, these were not the actions of a woman contemplating suicide.
That last weekend, I think she was in better shape than all of those years I'd been around, and she was very excited about having her own house after all. I remember her saying that it's so good laughing again.
Ralph had phoned twice that day. At 6 p.m. he called a third time to confirm their arrangements for supper at her house that evening.
I called her at 6 o'clock, and Greenson answered. She said, "She's not here." It could have been so easily that she was busy, which I would have accepted. She's not here. It would be easier to believe that she committed suicide, but I don't. I think somebody done her in.